around so you have an idea of what I see first off. Specialize in bones. Whatever this Sujiji Bay wall is, that's interesting. Another temple, a lot of temples here. Temple, two more, three, more. A shop where you can buy the religious totems and gewgaws for your backyard or shrine. Use English. I know that sounds cynical, but I guess to me it is. I'm just going to pan around so you have an idea of what I see first off. Again, very plain, not much to look at really. Kind of a bell that we'll take a look at in a moment. Fire, I think, or lightning, not literally, but in the spiritual sense, philosophical sense. Can't really decipher these graphics. Maybe when I have a larger picture I'll be able to. Here the end cap, or the end of it, very dramatically carved. Some kind of beast with big tusks. Unlike the temples of Thailand and Cambodia, these temples here are not very welcoming. Inches high, 233 inches at its widest point. And it was put here in 1681, looks like. And the pinwheel, I wonder what its significance is. Contemplate the beauty of the colors and the forms, particularly that tree, and then the pink cherry blossom petals strewn about the ground, but collecting in depressions that the wind deposits them in. There, I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Now I'm going to come back. I'm at this point, so now I'm going to walk down here to here, actually, come along here and see where these temples are. You'll see this one and this museum were talked about. I think this is where the shops are. It doesn't say anything about shops. It's interesting, that truck opens up with pneumatic pumps, as you can see, electrically to the side. That makes a lot of sense. I wonder if that's that tree's natural state. I can see little green shoots on it, but it doesn't look like the ends have literally been trimmed except for that one. This is the tomb of Ito Jinboku. He was a physician of Dutch medicine at the end of the Edo period, born in an agricultural family from what is now Saga Prefecture in 1800. Was considered with great reverence, particularly medicine and science. I wonder if the focus on children here in this motif is showing the doctor and his benefits through inoculation to protecting babies for their lifetimes. Tokugawa shogun. He was the last shogun, and he decided, for the benefit of Japan, that he would abdicate his shogun position to the new emperor, or to the emperor, as a graphic display of the transfer of power from the Tokugawa family, which had had it for 250 years plus, and obeisance to the now fully empowered emperor. This was the beginning of the Meiji Restoration. Unfortunately, there were factions on the emperor's side who believed that he had to be killed or whatever, and I don't recall what happened to him, but it seems in history he was of a heroic nature rather than one to be crucified, if you will. Now we'll walk into this back area, mainly because I see this magnificent, spectacular looking standing Buddha, painted in gold. And here next door, if not another temple, certainly it appears to be another adjunct cemetery to the one attendant this shrine. That girl is carrying one of those buckets and ladles. So apparently she will purify herself at that shrine there, or whatever gravesite / shrine she might want to say some prayers at, I guess. The one we're going up to see now is here on the left, but there's another one to the right that seems even more robust, if you will. You can hear those boards rattling a bit in the wind. One wonders if that was part of the plan. So it looks like those buildings that are off to the right are part of the same complex. But notice a little bit more embellishment with that gold filigree work up there. Now it could well be that this is reflected in a different sect of Shinto or Buddhism. So they're a way of channeling the water down to the ground. I wonder if it does it without allowing the water to splash, and at the same time looks pretty. And of course over here we have what looks to be a retired bell. since it's on the ground, it's convenient to look at it closely. You wonder if those little knobs in the designer's mind affected the sound in a pleasing way that he sought. Perhaps the chains do the same thing as the cups, but now I think about it, those inverted cups would hold a little bit of water, slow it down if it's coming in great volume, and let it be slowed down like a series of little mini check dams. Maybe the chains do the same. When the wind hits up and kicks up, you can really hear those wooden slats banging around. Can't make out anything here except what look like a couple of paws there, front and back. But I can't even determine a face there. Here we're looking down into these cups, and you can see that a considerable volume of water would be slowed in order to go through that little bit smaller aperture. This complex more impressive because it's more compact. The buildings are closer together. And yet the roofs are big and massive looking. Until you get to this modern building. Nice stairway approach to this temple. Consider what this would have been like, this area, with all these temples before all these encroaching buildings were built. This untrimmed bush is pretty because the new sprouts are such a contrasting color to the underlying trimmed bush. Yeah, the signage is good. I'm continuing down that long strip from the bathroom, and we'll go to this temple here just because we can, and then we're moving down to here, and then we want to take this, which I think is supposed to be the quaint street.